So today, quick little tutorial. This is going to be, what I'm going to be doing is looking at the footage that I have from a video that I am coloring. And I'm looking at all the raw footage right now. It's all spread out on a timeline. This is not an actual edit. This is just all the raw clips from this shoot. And what I'm going to do is pick one shot and use that as my master. And the master is the shot that I have chosen that I think will best be able to have a look built upon it, a look that will reach the full potential for what I'm kind of hoping to do with the footage. And then once I've established the look of the master, I can then take that same look and apply it to all the other clips. And then of course I'll have to manipulate the other clips to, to account for issues with exposure differences, color differences, white balance, that sort of thing. So, but what we're gonna do on this quick tutorial is just look at establishing a master shot and grading that. So I'm looking through here, and for me, usually when I'm selecting a master, I am choosing a shot that is a little bit closer with a little bit more of a close-up of the talent. So the faces are larger on the screen because I'm really keen on having a nice palette and feel with the skin tone. So that's very important to me. If we're grading footage that doesn't have any people involved in it, like a video that is people-less, then you're probably not gonna find the same type of shots. So, but in this one, and in most videos that you're gonna be looking at, people are gonna be part of it. So let's take a look here. I'm gonna go to my color page and I'm gonna look for a nice shot that I think will represent the talent well. So close enough that we can really see the skin. Right away, I'm gonna look at this one here. It's a little bit overexposed, but we still have all the detail. I'm gonna pull up the waveform there. You can see we're not clipping. We're not clipping the shadows, not clipping the highlights. So we do have a good amount of detail to work with. And we can really get a good sense of what their skin tone looks like. We're close up, we can see what we're doing. So I'm gonna start with this one. And there's no like real right or wrong master to pick. You're gonna have to just get a feel for your own grading style and what works best for you. This is a workflow that works best for me. If I get the skin tones in a good place and I'm copying that look over to subsequent footage or adjacent clips, at least I know the skin tones are going to be in the right place, and then I can make corrections of all the remaining aspects of the adjacent footage. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to start with getting my exposure right, using my qualifier. I'm going to hover around the skin, and I want to get the skin down to, I like it around 40-50 on the waveform there. And what I mean by 40 to 50, I set my waveform to look at percentage. So that's the ellipsis here. Waveform, scale, style, percentage. That's what I like to do. So this skin is looking good. I'm going to make a new node there, Option S. And I'm going to apply a DCTL that I have picked up called Master Tone from Raven Grade. Highly recommend it. I'm gonna bring up the shadows a little bit there. I'm going back to my first node, taking my qualifier, hovering it over something that is black or that should be black, making sure I'm in my vector scope. And I want that circle to live in the center of the crosshairs there, which I believe it does. Maybe you can go a little. No, I'm actually gonna go a little bit cooler and a little more. No, that's pretty good. Just a little cooler. Now I've got my DCTL, so I'm happy with that. I'm going to create a new node, Option S, and I'm going to go to my contrast slider. I'm just going to up that a little bit, and then I'm going to take my pivot, slide it to the left just to boost up the contrast pivot point a little bit before or after. Now I'm going to make a parallel node here. I'm going to select my qualifier HSL. I'm going to disable hue, disable saturation, and I'm going to go luminance. The low point is going to be 65. Soft will be 33. We're just highlighting the brighter points there. And what I'm going to do is go down to my primary color wheels. I'm going to just pull the gain down to about 85, and then I'm going to go up on the lift to about 10. And what that's going to do is just kind of embolden the whites a little bit, soften them out, and embolden them so they're stronger, flatter whites. Now another parallel node, option P. And what I'm going to do is go over to the color warper. I'm going to select 16 points there. And I want to kind of create a little bit of a teal, not teal, I want to create a blue-orange look. So I'm going to start moving these points around. So half of them are in the range of the skin tone. You want to make sure you're looking at your vector scope because you do not want to ruin the skin tones. So I'm just kind of grouping these down, sliding them over towards primary colors here, and a lot of it over towards the orange. And then on the flip side, when you cross the threshold, this kind of line here that intersects the green and the magenta, I'm going to start moving everything over to the blue on this half. Just to add some nice color contrast. And that is nice. I'm going to do one more parallel node. One more parallel node. And I'm going to go over to my HSL curves. Hue versus saturation. And I'm going to just up that a little bit, almost to the first line there. And then I'm going to go over to my hue versus luminance. I'm going to drag that down just a little bit to about 0.6. Luma versus saturation. I'm going to select these little black and white points here. And I'm going to drag this down. So that's going to eliminate saturation from the shadows. And then on the opposite side, we're going to reduce the saturation from the highlights, which will help get rid of any color tints that we might have locked in there, which we do not want. Okay. Now I'm pretty happy with this. Let's see. Before, after, before, after. What else can I do? Now I'm going to put on a LUT. This is one that I made. It's from my collection of Dune LUTs. I like number 7. It's just like nice. It's my favorite. Now that might be a little too dark. Why don't we try some other LUTs from the Dune selection? Oh, okay. A lot of these are fairly dark, as inspired from the film. This is interesting. Nah. You know what? I like 8. I'm just going to have to boost up the exposure. So I have my LUT there. Now I'm going to go back to the first node. And I'm going to create, using Shift S, I'm going to create a node before the first node. And I'm going to go down to my primary color wheels, offset control. And I'm just going to go up a little bit. I'm going to activate the waveform and just make sure that my skin tones are roughly around 40, 50. Nice and cinematic. And now look at our blacks. We are low on the black. So I'm going over to the DCTL. I'm actually going to create one more node. I'm clicking on the first node, Shift S. I'm going to add my DCTL from Raven Grade Master Tone, and I'm going to take the low gamma. I'm going to bring that right up so we're not clipping. We're not clipping the shadows. Whoa. Don't want to overdo that either. Okay. Now the other thing I'm going to do, I'm going to bring down the low gain. And I'm going to up the gamma of the mids. It's a really fun tool. You can create really unique looks here. Just playing around until I'm happy. I really don't want the blacks to be crushed, so I'm just going to go up a little bit there. That's cool. Now I want to give a little bit of a blue tint in the shadows. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to get my qualifier, HSL, disable hue, disable saturation, and I'm going to play with the, what am I playing with? The luminance. High is 60, high soft is 33. Now I'm just going to mess around a little bit here. Maybe high will be 50. And from here, what I'm going to do is go to my primary color wheels, and I'm going to take my gamma, and I'm just going to move it over to the blues a little bit. Just a little. See, there's before, there's after. You just have a subtle little bit of a blue tint there, which is very nice. I'm going to do the same in the lift, the lower part of the image. And I'm going to delete that because I don't like it. So I just like what I've done by qualifying the shadows and then adding a little bit of blue in the gamma. And again, we're just affecting the lower luminance areas of the image. So I'm happy with that. Last thing I like to do, last couple things. I'm going to add some halation. That's the NoFX app. I just drag and drop. Now that looks to be a little bit too intense, so I'm going to go to the global blend, dial that down. I like when an effect is just barely noticeable there. Okay, so we've got halation, new node. Have you ever tried film comfort nitrate? Fantastic. So I usually will just apply that at the end, and then I will go to the film settings and film chroma 35, film luminance 35, grain strength 55. You know what? Let's do film chroma 25. I don't want to lose what we've done. Look at that. Nice and filmic. Love that image. Oh, good job, guys. And I'm happy with this image. So this is something that I could now copy and paste to the rest of the footage that I have. So for example, I'm going to click another clip here, Command A, selecting all of it. And then I'm going to right click the grade that we did, apply grade. And that will apply it to all of the clips. And then you can see there are variances in white balance and luminance. So of course you would have to make some adjustments, but it will be quick because all of the footage was shot in the same day with the same camera, same subjects, different locations, obviously, but you'll be able to pull it all together. So that is the importance of finding a master and then using that master look to apply to the rest of your footage to synchronize your grade. So I hope you enjoyed that. See you next time.